So I'm having a chat with Hans like houses. How are you guys?
Very well, thank you.
Very,
How are you, my friend?
Yeah.
very good. Never know who's going to chat first. We are very good over here in Australia.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Good. I'll let you fight the answers out between you, shall I? Because
Yeah.
Game show.
so whoever wants to
Yeah.
tell me a little bit about your latest single that we've been playing, "Hurts Like Hell," which you've teamed up with Normandy with. Tell us about the single.
Oh, this is a song we're very excited for. This is it was actually an instrumental we wrote quite a long time ago, and we'd sent to Philip, who's an old friend of ours. We've toured with him quite a while ago, and the song was kind of always just bubbling away in the background. And then I guess about maybe it was about 6 months ago, all the pieces kind of finally came together, and it just kind of kept leveling up. And it was really nice to actually have a collaboration, I guess, with both bands. It wasn't just like, hey, sing on this verse and here's the song. There was quite a lot of back and forth where, their drummer did drum takes and we were working on guitar takes, and Josh and Phil were kind of working on melody and lyrics. And it was kind of a lot of back and forth, which was really exciting because it's definitely a first for us doing kind of a full collaboration with another band, not just with the singer. So yeah, we loved the song, loved the whole process of making it, and we are stoked to have it out.
Yeah, I can well imagine. And you've been releasing music fairly quickly this year. You've got more on the way because we're going to play a track after this called "Obey" with Ken and Quinn. Tell us about that single as well.
Yeah, well, it's pretty much like same similar thing. Like the reason why as well we're doing like so many features and stuff is when I came into the band, I we the band was exploring so many different options for the album and how we were sort of gonna portray this is necessarily wasn't going to be one vocalist. It was going to be many vocalists. And as we've sort of progressed and we've been writing more and more, we've realized we still want to keep like the core idea of what we've done and what we've created with many of these artists, and but still keep what we're doing moving forward a key component of that too. And this song with Kellen was great because I feel like he just lifted it to a whole new level. It's just so in line with, I think, maybe with how a lot of people are feeling at the moment too, of just following a line, following a narrative, following this a certain way of thinking, which feels like you can get pushed and pulled whichever way you choose with that. Um, it just feels like a song that's really current to maybe how people are feeling now. It's definitely how I feel a lot of the time. I definitely feel like my mind is being ripped in three different ways of thinking or ways of living, and never really being given a consistent basis. So I guess that's where the song sort of comes from. And it's, yeah, just pumped for it to be out, pumped for people to enjoy it, and pumped to play it live too.
Mm,
I think it's going to be a killer live track to play too.
yeah, I can well imagine. And there's a new album on the way as well. How's it sounding?
The album is, I think it's sounding awesome. It's as Josh said, we've done a lot of features on this record. We've done a lot of exploring in, I guess it really just opened up our whole process of like, cool, what's possible, what sounds feel good, what do we want to do with this moving forward? And I feel like this record, it's a 16 track record. We're still not really sure if it's like, is it a really big album? Is it a double album? Is it like, I don't really know how we kind of frame it yet. We're still kind of working that out, but essentially it's four EPs of 4 tracks that make up this album. And yeah, we're really excited that I guess we've had the opportunity just to dive in so many different directions and kind of discover what feels good for us, what resonates with people. And I guess it's a bit of a newfound freedom to just put out what feels good to us at the
Mm.
time and not have to be like, let's wait until this feels good on an album. We're writing songs, we're finishing them off, and we're moving on, and we're trying to keep I guess, the creative flow moving forward and keeping everyone inspired, which is probably the healthiest it's been for us in a long time.
Nice, nice, great to hear. And I'd like to talk about the writing side as well. So for you guys, how do tracks normally start off?
Oh, there's probably a few different ways it start off. Generally, it's always going to start with a riff or chords. That's kind of how it's progressed over a long time. I guess, we're always open to however it's going to start. Sometimes it could be a drum beat, but for us, traditionally, it's a riff and some chords, or, you know, that's something in that realm that one of us will put together, whether it's a full song or just a bit of a demo. And that usually kind of gets sent around over the internet and gets built out from there, is kind of how at least we did most of this record, because throughout COVID, and I guess just where we're all at now, for most of the writing of this record, Josh was in Perth, I'm on the south coast of Australia, our guitarist Coots was in Bali, other guitarist Alex was in LA, and our drummer was in Canberra. So it's like all five people were literally like almost on different continents. So there was a lot of right ideas, chuck them into the chat, and just, I guess, see what everyone was most excited about, and then would kind of work on those ideas, build them out, and then kind of take them into our producers. So, generally it's like, I mean, we love a bit of a riff, so we're just trying to get hyped on riffs, and we'll start from there. But a few songs was like, cool, here's some nice chords, and I guess it really all comes together once we hear a vocal. That's kind of, I think that's the thing that separates the song from becoming a song or just being a riff that dies on a laptop somewhere is, when a lyric or a vocal comes in and it's like, oh, this could be a song. Let's explore. So yeah, that's usually the process.
Yeah, nice. And Josh, tell us about the lyrics as well. How easy do you find it to create the lyrics to the music that's already created?
Man, I think honestly, it for me personally, it's the easiest and hardest thing at the same time. And I know that's such a like a counterintuitive thing to say, but like for me, I think this like coming into this, it's been a whole new process for everyone, and we're all sort of like still figuring out how this, not necessarily how it works, but like how we can get the best out of each other and how we can sort of find where the band sits sonically too. Like obviously, like every vocalist has their own identity and their own sort of way of, I guess, expressing themselves to the world. And I think the biggest thing that's helped me a lot recently is playing a lot more live shows, because that's something that I find what brings the best out of me vocally. Not necessarily like a big part of it is hearing like reception, like in real time of how people feel and how people experience it, but really just getting back to the bones of like what I love most about music is the writing is a huge part, but performing is where those songs really come to life and the community is created and the energy becomes something that once the idea leaves your mind and you put it out into the world, once you perform it, that's when it's like really solidified. And then that's when you're like, okay, that's when you get not just feedback, but you get like a feeling within yourself that sort of confirms and like unpacks where the song is at. And sometimes for me, I think I don't really know how I feel until I've sort of put myself in that space of like uninhibited expression. Like sometimes I don't know how a song could be the most vulnerable and most open-hearted thing, but sometimes like in daily life you bottle things so much, but then when you put yourself in that performance aspect of like I'm going to express this in the realest way I can, then you get something that's much more real than you ever thought was really there. So I think performing live has been a big part of us discovering ourselves and creating this relationship with each other to get the best out of ourselves. And lyrics for me just always have to come from a current and real place. Could be stories about people I love, could be about what's going on currently, could be about societal thing, it could be about something. Like sometimes lyrics don't necessarily have to make sense, sometimes they just need to harbor a feeling. And working with different people and having so many different features on this album, I think we're getting so many different lessons from different worlds about how different people create, and we're sort of amalgamating that as we move on.
Nice, excellent. And Josh, the reason why is you guys aren't quite in tune just yet is because you're fairly new to the band. How are you finding it?
I love it, man. Like honestly, like I feel in tune. Like I think the biggest thing is that we're finding new tunings. Does that make sense? Like It's not just like being in tune. It's like we're finding different ways to sort of express ourselves. And even for me, like I feel personally challenged in so many different ways vocally to find new ways to explore it, because especially being in like a heavier like scene of music, and not necessarily that every song's heavy and stuff like that, but putting myself in a situation where it's like we're going down that road, I'm finding parts of my voice that I find super exciting, and the guys have been creating a space that's so healthy and so encouraging and so exciting that it's like we're discovering new things every day. And I think that's the most exciting part about it, is that it's not like there is like a process, and we're still figuring that out, of course, but each day there's like something new that trickles in, and there's something exciting that trickles in. And I think that's like the best part about creation. The worst part is when you feel like you could be slugging at it for not just hours, but maybe weeks or even months, and then there's nothing new creeping in. I think that's when sometimes things can feel stagnant, but currently it just feels like we're constantly refueling ourselves with our own creativity.
Nice. Yeah, fair enough. And Joel, how is he getting on?
Yeah, look, I mean, look, to echo what Josh is saying, it's been unreal. You know, we're kind of the only reason we're still here is because we found something pretty special in like the connection we had with Josh that, you know, we want to keep doing this. Otherwise, you know, we probably wouldn't be a band anymore. So it's pretty special to have found something that, like Josh said, every day I feel like there's a new idea coming, there's new opportunities coming. And yeah, we've just done this 16 track double album and it feels like we're literally just scratching the surface of kind of what's possible between us. You know, this is very much like a teething process of like we've just done 16 songs and they've all felt good for all of these different reasons. But like Josh said, there's a big part of that where we want to play live and see what feels good and see how it translates. And you know, there's a whole kind of new discovery of we know what we've played over our career and we know what our strengths are, but there's, you know, we're still growing and we're still evolving and we're still learning kind of every day through our process of creating together. So, look, I think in the time that we've had with Josh, it's been incredibly enjoyable, and I think maybe for the first time in a long time, we're all just enjoying the fact of turning up. You know, like it's very easy to get caught up with. You know, this is our fifth album. We've been a band for 15 years, and it's, you know, sometimes they're easier than others, but it's really nice to be in a place now where it seems like all the pressure's gone and there's, you know, there's no one breathing down our neck telling us what we need to do or how we need to do it. It's us going, cool, this music feels good, let's record it. We can play shows, let's go out and play shows. Like we're the ones in the driver's seat, which feels like incredibly powerful for the, you know, for us getting into this fifth record, because usually it's like, you know, the label's kind of like whipping you into, we got to do this, we got to do this, we're on the road for 18 months, we got to promote the album, we got to do these things. But we've kind of removed all of that and just gone back to the basics of if we can write music that we all love and there's something exciting about it, let that be the catalyst for what we do and how we move forward. So it feels, yeah, I think it's honestly, it feels amazing. Like we're stoked every day. We're writing more music than we've probably ever written in our career. So very excited to get this album out, and you know, right now we're working on the next one. So it's, yeah, there's no stopping.
Nice, nice. And speaking of live shows, our Australian listeners will be very happy because that's all you've got booked in the diary at the moment. What's your plan for doing some shows?
Yeah, sorry everyone else. Yeah, well, look, we've just got back from doing our tour over in Southeast Asia. We've got a couple of shows coming up in Australia this year, and we've got the biggest regional Australia tour we've ever done at the start of next year. So, look, there's definitely things in the works for UK Europe. There's kind of early discussions there about how we make that work. But, you know, I guess like we said, there's kind of been such a focus on getting the music right before we go out. And I think it's obviously a lot easier for us to do shows in Australia here to work that out. So I think we're kind of using Australia as somewhat of our guinea pigs to be like, let's get this right before we kind of take it out to the rest of the world. So, you know, we definitely do want to get back to UK and Europe and potentially America at some point. But yeah, can't promise or guarantee anything at this stage, but there's definitely plans in the works.
Good, good. And last question is for Josh, because you're not just in Hands Like Houses, you're part of the Fame as well. What are the Fame doing?
The Fame, we are all living our respected lives. Like the Fame was pretty intense for a lot of us for quite a while, and we're all just focusing on our own shit. Really, like no one's like the Fame isn't going anywhere, nor are we planning on doing anything right now. It's just really that everyone needed time to focus on their own stuff. Like I've still got a good relationship with all the guys, and you know there's still like a few things to work out between each other. But I think we all just need some space, and we all just need some time to focus on our own stuff. Like, and me being a part of Hands Like Houses doesn't negate anything with the Fame or anything like that. This has just honestly been such another welcomed part of my own process as an artist and working with other people. And honestly, it came at the best time for me personally because I yeah, I for a little while I didn't know where I was sort of sitting with like music after COVID and after so many things got cancelled and after so many things happened internally for a lot of bands like around the world. I didn't really, not necessarily that I was jaded, but I didn't know where things were sitting. And when Joel, came into the picture with like even just writing, it wasn't necessarily joining the band. It wasn't like there was nothing like that. It was just writing again, and that sort of sparked this feeling of like, you know what, fuck, I really fucking miss music. And then it just reignited that love, and that will in turn like become into the fame and stuff as well. But for the fame world, we're all just taking some time, and that's it, really. Yeah.
Fair enough, guys. It's been a pleasure having a chat with you.
Thank you very much, Jim.
No worries.
Appreciate
Thank you
you,
very
bud.
much for your time.